Today, May 6, 2026, my name is Amir. Imagine a student named Sarah who lives in a remote village with no university for hundreds of miles. Yet, she sits at her kitchen table every night participating in higher level education seminar. For years, higher education was a privilege of geography. But today, Sarah is part of a global classroom that exists entirely in the digital era. According to the Inside Higher Ed on January 12, 2024, enrollment in online programs has grown by over 20% in the last 3 years, showing that digital learning is no longer a niche alternative, but a primary pillar of modern education. Today, I am here to persuade you to embrace and improve the quality of online education in our society. First, I will discuss the problems facing online education. Second, I will explain the causes behind these challenges. And finally, I will offer solutions that can be taken to enhance the virtual learning experience. Let's get started by talking about the problems. There are two main problems that online students are facing. First, there's a significant lack of academic engagement, and second, there are frequent issues with technical accessibility. Research published by the Journal of Higher Education on March 22, 2024, found that students in fully remote environment often feel a sense of digital isolation, which leads to lower motivation and higher dropout rates compared to the traditional classrooms. Furthermore, the Pew Research Center reported on February 15, 2024, that a significant digital divide still exists, where students in low-income areas struggle with unreliable internet or outdated hardware, preventing them from accessing their course materials effectively. Now that we have discussed the problem of isolation and access, next, let's discuss why these are happening. There are two main reasons why these problems are occurring. First, we can blame outdated instructional design. Second, we can blame systematic infrastructure gaps. An article from Forbes Advisor published on January 15, 2024 notes that many online courses simply digitize versions of old lectures rather than being designed specifically for an interactive virtual environment. Additionally, data from the Federal Communications Commission on April 5, 2026 reveals that high-speed internet is still treated as a luxury in rural regions rather than a basic utility necessary for modern education. Now that we have examined the causes and problems of poor designs and infrastructure gaps, next, let's uncover some solutions that can fix and help this issue. There are many steps that can be taken. First, let's look at the large-scale institutional steps. And second, we will examine personal solutions we as a class can take. The Chronicle of Higher Education stated on May 20, 2024, that universities must invest in specialized active learning training for faculty to master virtual engagement tools. Personally, you can help by joining a virtual study group on Discord to build the community that is often missing online. You should also set a tech check schedule every Sunday to ensure your software is updated before the school week begins. Finally, make it a point to actively use the raise hand or chat features in every session to force yourself to engage rather than just watching. Today, I have persuaded you to support and improve the environment of online education. I did this by first explaining the problems of isolation and access, second, by discussing the causes of outdated design and infrastructure gaps, and finally, by offering institutional and personal steps we can take. We must ensure that Sarah and students like her have every opportunity to succeed. By committing to these solutions, we ensure that the kitchen table isn't just a piece of furniture, it's the front. Today I have my friend here, Aryan. He's gonna ask me some questions about an interview that we had.
All right.
How are you, man?
How's it going?
Aryan.
Good to see you.
Of course.
So, Amir, I have one question for you. What do you think is the biggest issue when it comes to online studying regarding students that have like older laptops, older software?
Okay, the answer was in the question. So for me, personally, online classes is hard. I don't like doing online classes because it's harder to learn, harder to ask questions, and the internet thing is sometimes
It's not reliable.
not
Yeah.
reliable and hard.
Yeah.
So I like to take in-person classes for sure rather than online. And online does have some good stuff. For example, like you can have a job on the side and still attend to the classes
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like this and etc.
Mm. But I genuinely think the newer model websites that it comes to studying in school, they don't have people with older software, they cannot access the newer sites because they cannot run it because their softwares are old. I think that it was like the university should definitely upgrade their servers to the older model students with less income be able to access it just as a normal student.
Yeah, exactly. I mentioned that in my interview too.
Oh, you
that
did, okay.
people, some students don't have access to the internet, or due to the money they don't have,
The
or
computer's old,
the
yeah.
location they are,
Yeah.
or even though like some students are older, like they're like 50 years old in the school and they're not like tech guys, so they can't really like join
Yeah,
classes.
it's complicated.
Exactly. So in general, I mean, online classes are better, but in-person classes can be a good option. as
Beneficial
well.
when people live
Beneficial,
long.
Yeah. Of course, it's better
You
to
can learn
understand
from
that.
anywhere, yeah.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you, and have a great day.